So Mark Crossfield here, hello, let's go for another video response. Jake Harris 281's asking about workability with different size irons. He's asking, why do we need blades? Are they easier to move than cavity back irons? Well, let's get into it. Great, love this question, such an interesting question. So why do people need blades? No one needs blades. If you've got good enough technique, you can move the ball left to right, so fade it or draw it with any club. Because we're talking about fade or draws, basically we're talking about the angle you're hitting the ball from. So from in to out, out to in, what you're doing with your club base, those kind of things. So you've got a round ball and a flat surface. It doesn't matter if that flat surface is massive or small, bladed, cavities, weight here, weight there, doesn't matter. If you're hitting from different angles with a flat surface striking a round ball, it's going to put side spin on it, or what we know as side spin, so it's going to get the ball moving left to right and right to left. Workability is much more to do with height, really, and then height will then semi-relate back to shape, but it's predominantly height. So if I've used irons in the past, so chunkier irons, ones that are less workable than a blade. And what happens, I'm playing on a slightly windy day, it doesn't matter what I do, I struggle to keep the ball down. The thing just keeps shooting up in the air because they're built to launch. So what happens, get me downwind, no problem, get me into the wind, I'm playing the ball so far back off my stance, I'm really trying to overwork that iron, in effect, to try and make it do something, because it's just firing up in the air. The other thing that happens often with, say, chunkier, hotter faced irons, its distance control is a little less consistent. You'll get the odd one where the thing just fires off the face right at the middle and it just shoots kind of 10-15 yards further than you've ever hit a club. Where something like a forged iron, so I've got a 53 in my hand here, this is just the one I do the videos with. It's forged, it's semi-bladed, it doesn't particularly fly too high, and the distance is very consistent because it's a duller hit off the face. It hasn't got that spring, so what happens, whatever power I put in, I get out. So if I hit it out the middle, I get my maximum distance, but it'll never go further than that maximum distance. If I hit it out the toe, it goes that bit shorter. I know what's going to happen. If I hit something like some of the TaylorMades or some of the Callaway, some of the things that are really hot faces out there, the odd shot, I'll hit the odd shot, and all of a sudden, it's 15-20 yards further than I've ever hit a 6-iron. And that's no good when you're playing on the course. So workability, unless you're absolutely skilled, really skilled in what you're doing, you're not going to notice a massive difference between a big chunky iron to a bladed iron. Where the blades come into their own is for the better players who want real distance control, and they want the ball to shoot probably at the height they're hitting it at. They don't want it shooting particularly higher. So I think that's what your pro is getting at, or I hope that's what your pro is getting at. Moving the ball left to right, right to left, not such a big problem with a blade to a cavity backed iron. The only thing is, the other thing to remember, anything with a big sole, hitting from angles will make the club not lie on the floor correctly. So if the sole's too big, like a wood, that's going to make it very hard not to twist the club as it comes through impact. So the thinner soles on your kind of bladed irons as well, that gives you a bit more workability on shape because there's less club touching the ground. So when it is striking the ground, so basically if you hit more from the inside, say, you'll tend to heel it down. You hit more from the outside, you'll toe the club down a little bit. The twist is less. So again, it's your skill rather than the club doing all the work. So I wouldn't get too bogged down in workability issues. Think more about distance control and maybe height relative to how hard you're hitting it. Hope that helps. Any more questions, post comments below. Keep the comments coming, guys. Really enjoy trying to answer them.